Just confirm me, am I audible to you? Just confirm me, am I audible and the PPT is visible? Okay, good, fine. Let's start our today's class. See, in today's class, we are going to see about an endocrinology related to hormones. Okay, see, we have a lot of gland in that. Say, for example, see what is the difference between endocrine gland and exocrine gland. So you see, exocrine gland will be called as the what is that other name of the endocrine glands, which is called as the duct glands and which is called as the ductless glands. Just tell me whether endocrine gland is a duct gland or ductless gland. Endocrine gland is a duct gland or ductless gland. Endocrine glands are the ductless glands. Okay, see, they are released directly into the bloodstream. Okay, that's what an endocrine glands, which has no duct within it. Okay, but in case of exocrine glands, we have a duct through which the hormone secretion will be reach the target area. And my question is, which is called as the which organ is considered as both exocrine as well as endocrine gland? Which organ is said to be as both exocrine as well as the endocrine glands? That will be a pancreas. Okay, so this is what a basic difference between ductless gland and duct gland. Okay, so the first gland will be the pituitary gland. So in pituitary, we have a two side of pituitary. One is anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary. Okay, so in anterior pituitary, they are going to synthesize a hormone called the growth hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, and prolactin hormone. And in posterior pituitary, only two hormones have been secreted. Okay, and that will be oxytocin and antidiuretic hormone. And this antidiuretic hormone is also called as the vasopressin. So the question can also be asked from this one particular column itself. Okay, which are the secretions of anterior pituitary and which hormone will be the secretion of posterior pituitary, and which is called as the adenohypophysis and which is called as the neurohypophysis. This can also be arised in your question. Okay. See, target organs. What are all the things they are going to affect? What will be the target organs? And growth tissues, see, definitely all the cells has to grow in their size. So their target area will be all the tissues. Okay, and thyroid stimulating hormone, and this thyroid will be secreted only in the thyroid gland. So this will be in the thoracic area. And adrenocorticotropic hormone, that is ACTH, and this hormone will show their action in the adrenal cortex. Okay, and follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, these are all the hormones which is involved in the reproduction. So obviously that will be going to do their action in their gonads. And prolactin, they are going to stimulate the mammary gland. Okay, and that will be the target organ. And oxytocin will be the it is a hormone. It is also called as the love hormone, and this hormone will be they show their action in the uterus and the mammary glands. Okay, and what in case of antidiuretic hormone? This is the one regulating the water reabsorption. So definitely their target area will be the kidney. Okay, so now what is their primary function? In case of growth hormone, they are going to stimulate the growth, and in case of thyroid stimulating hormone, see, thyroid stimulating hormone is the one going to stimulate the thyroid hormone release. Okay, now adrenocorticotropic hormone, they are going to stimulate the cortical release. See, adrenocorticotropic hormone is the name of the hormone. They are going to stimulate the adrenal cortex, and now this adrenal cortex is the one going to release the cortisol. Okay, this is how the hormone action will be. Now, follicle stimulating hormone will act on the gonads and they are going to stimulate the gamete production. Like in the same way, luteinizing hormone, they are going to stimulate sex hormone production. And prolactin, see, they are going to stimulate the mammary glands. As a result of this stimulation, the milk will be produced. And oxytocin, they are going to stimulate the uterus, and as a result, it stimulates the milk uterine contraction and milk ejection. An antidiuretic hormone, they are the one promotes the water reabsorption in kidneys. Okay, these are all the things related to the pituitary gland. Now, thyroid gland, we have a different hormones. The most important thing, see T4 and T3. Okay, see triiodothyronine, tetraiodothyronine. That is what T3 and T4. Okay, triiodothyronine, and this tetraiodothyronine is also called as the thyroxine hormone. And this is also the gland they are going to secrete the calcitonin. Okay, and where they are going to what will be their target area and will be the all tissues, bones and kidneys. Okay. In case of calcitonin, their target area will be the bone, obviously. And what is the function of this particular hormone means? They are going to regulate a metabolism, growth and development. And also they lowers the blood calcium levels by inhibiting the osteoclast activity. And what is mean by osteoclast means, see, these are all the things related to the bones. Okay, osteoblast is there, osteoclast is there. See, osteoblast means that will be the cells which is present in the bones. See, if they find the excess calcium in the body, that excess calcium will be stored in the bones. Okay, and if the body will find the calcium level will be low in the blood, and then obviously the calcium will be present in the bone, will be taken away by the hormone called the parathyroid hormone. So this calcitonin and parathyroid hormone will be antagonistic to each other, right? Now, see, parathyroid hormone, they are going to release this gland is going to release this parathyroid hormone, and their target area will be the bones, kidneys, and tissues. And once again, they are going to increase the blood calcium levels by stimulating the osteoclast. Okay, by stimulating the osteoclast means what, they are going to take away the calcium level from the bone, and they have to be enter into the other area wherever it is necessary, and enhancing the calcium reabsorption in kidneys and promoting the vitamin D activation. Okay, for this, it is in need of a calcium. Now, adrenal glands. See, we have a two target area, that will be the adrenal cortex will be there and adrenal medulla will be there. In adrenal cortex, they are going to release cortisol, aldosterone, and androgens. In adrenal medulla, they are going to release an epinephrine and norepinephrine. Okay, now, see, they are going to, this adrenal cortex is going to release a cortisol, and their action will be the all tissues. Okay, this cortisol will show their action in all the tissues, and aldosterone will be particularly the kidney. Okay, in reabsorption. And androgens, obviously, that will be the gonads and other tissues. Now, this adrenal medulla is going to release an epinephrine and norepinephrine, and their target area will be the various organs. And what is the purpose of having this cortisol hormone? Is they are the one we are calling them as the stress hormone. Okay, they are released in response to the stress. And aldosterone, see, they are going to increases the sodium absorption and potassium excretion. See, sodium reabsorption, and that will be balanced by the potassium excretion. Okay, now androgens will be they are the one hormone, they contribute to the sex characteristics and reproduction, right? Good evening, continue the class. Now, epinephrine and norepinephrine. See, these are all the hormone. We are calling them as the flight and fright hormone, and they are the one increasing the heart rate, blood pressure, blood glucose level in response to the stress thing. Okay, this is what somewhat related to the adrenal glands. Now, pineal gland, this is the gland secreting the melatonin hormone, the most important hormone. See, they are the one, their target area will be the brain. Okay, their target area will be the brain, and they are the one regulate the sleep-wake cycles. Okay, they regulate the sleep-wake cycles and seasonal biological rhythms. What is that? seasonal biological rhythm. So circadian rhythm will be maintained by this particular hormone, the most important hormone. And pancreas, and their hormone will be the insulin and glucagon, and this insulin will be released by the alpha cells of pancreas, beta cells of pancreas, and this glucagon will be released by the alpha cells of pancreas, right? Now, and their target area will be the liver, muscle, adipose tissue. See, in liver, excess glucose will be stored as a glycogen in the liver. So obviously their target area will be the liver only, and muscle, the same thing, glycogen will be stored there. Adipose tissue, excess glucose will be stored in there also. Okay, so you should know that whenever the blood glucose level is low, which hormone is getting activated, whether it will be the insulin or glucagon. So this will be the repeated questions. Okay, you should not make a mistake in these type of questions. See, in case of a blood glucose is low, in the blood, okay, blood glucose level is low in the blood, and they will be, the blood glucose level will be promoted by the glucose uptake and storage. And in case the blood glucose level will be high, that will be regulated by promoting the glycogen breakdown and glucose release. See, if the blood will have a high glucose, the excess glucose will be stored in the liver as a glycogen. And whenever the blood have a low glucose level, and these glycogen, that will be breaking down, glycogenolysis, that will be the name of the cycle. See, then gonads, that will be ovaries and testes. See, ovaries and testes, this ovaries is the structure which is going to release a hormone called as the estrogen and progesterone, and testes is the male reproductive part that will be going to release a hormone called the testosterone. Both will be their target area will be the reproductive organs in case of male and female. And in case of estrogen, what will be their function? See, that will be regulating the female reproductive cycle and secondary sexual characteristics. And progesterone, this is the one prepares uterus for the pregnancy. So whenever when a female ready to deliver a baby, this progesterone is the one prepares the uterus for that. And testosterone, this is somewhat related to the male reproductive function. They ensure the secondary sexual characters. Now, what about this thymus? Thymus is the one releasing a hormone called the thymosin. Okay, and their target area will be the immune cells, particularly the T lymphocytes. And what is the purpose of having this thymosin? They are going to promote the development and maturation of T lymphocytes. And this T lymphocytes is very much essential for the adaptive immunity. Okay. Now, what kidneys? We know that kidney is going to secrete a hormone called the erythropoietin renin. See, their target area will be the bone marrow and blood vessels. See, in case of erythropoietin, they are the ones stimulates the RBC production. And in case of renin, they are going to regulate the blood pressure by activating the renin angiotensin aldosterone system. And also you should make a note that what is the difference between this renin and renin. Single N, R-E-N-I-N is there, and R-E-double-N-I-N is also there. And what is the difference between those two? Do you have any idea? See, this double N, R-E-double-N-I-N is somewhat a protein digesting hormone. Okay, they are the one going to digest the milk, particularly in the baby. Okay, so in baby, that casinogen is an inactive form of casein. That will be, casinogen will be transferred into a casein. Okay, this is what done by this renin. Okay, yeah, very good. And what about this renin? This is somewhat related to the kidney. So you should not confuse with the spelling. Okay. Now, heart. Heart, they are also going to secrete a hormone called the atrial natriuretic peptide. And their action will be the kidneys and blood vessels. Okay, what they are doing, just opposite to the aldosterone and the antidiuretic hormone. So don't get confused related to this atrial natriuretic factor, aldosterone, and antidiuretic hormone. So these three hormones tend to confuse. So don't do that. See, this hormone lowers the blood pressure by promoting sodium and water excretion. So in case of this antidiuretic hormone and the aldosterone, they are promoting the sodium reabsorption. But this ANP, this promoting the sodium excretion. Okay, and also they are dilating the blood vessels. But those two will be the constriction of blood vessels. Those aldosterone and antidiuretic hormone and all. Okay. Now stomach, they are going to release a hormone called the gastrin, and they are related to the stomach. Their mode of action, target area will be the stomach, and what they are doing is they are going to secrete a gastric acid that is nothing but a hydrochloric acid. Okay, only in that pH the pepsinogen is getting activated. Okay, now in intestine they are going to secrete a hormone called secretin and cholecystokinin. Okay, and their target area will be the pancreas, liver and stomach, and cholecystokinin will be the gallbladder and the pancreas. We know what this cholecystokinin will do. See, secretin will stimulate the bicarbonate secretion from the pancreas and bile production in the liver. This is what done by the secretin. And in case of cholecystokinin, this is the one stimulate the release of the digestive enzymes from the pancreas and bile from the gallbladder. Okay, you should not confuse with the function of these two, secretin and cholecystokinin hormone. Have a look at that. Okay, that's all about this. Is just an overview regarding the hormones. Okay, so coming back to the question, which hormone is produced by the thyroid hormone? That will be a thyroxine. Okay, their thyroid gland is produces the thyroxine, which is the one regulates the metabolism, and this thyroxine is also called as the personality hormone. And we know what is meant by emergency hormone, that is nothing but adrenaline and noradrenaline. And which gland is responsible for producing adrenaline? This might be a simple question because I have already explained everything. That will be nothing but adrenaline hormone. See, okay, there's nothing to explain there. What hormone does the pancreas secrete to regulate the blood sugar levels? Here you should not confuse with insulin and glucagon. There is one particular hormone. They are going to regulate the blood sugar levels at any time. Okay. And what will be that hormone? That will be nothing but an insulin. Okay. See, when this insulin is getting produced by the pancreas, they are going to produce whenever the blood glucose level is high. And whenever it is high, this this insulin is getting released. And if it is released, they are going to lower the blood sugar levels. Okay. Now, which gland is known as the master gland of the body? That will be the pituitary gland. Okay, and this pituitary gland is getting activated by which gland, which hormone? Pituitary gland is activated by, we are calling this pituitary gland as a master gland, and this is getting activated by, yeah, that will be the hypothalamus. Okay, now which hormone is responsible for regulating calcium levels in the blood? Which hormone is responsible for regulating the calcium levels in the blood? That will be parathyroid hormone. See, this is the hormone released by the parathyroid gland that regulate the calcium level in the blood. What hormone does the pineal gland produce to regulate the sleep-wake cycles? That will be a melatonin. Okay, this is the one regulate the sleep-wake cycle. Now, which gland produces the hormone oxytocin? Which gland produces the hormone oxytocin? Whether it will be the posterior pituitary or anterior pituitary. Very good. Okay, this will be the pituitary gland. No doubt in that. Whether it will be the posterior pituitary or anterior pituitary. Okay. Very good. Posterior pituitary. Whether it will be the adenohypophysis or neurohypophysis. Whether it will be the adenohypophysis or neurohypophysis. Very good. That will be the neurohypophysis. Okay. Now, which hormone does the adrenal cortex produce? Adrenal cortex is going to produce which hormone? That will be the cortisol hormone. This is the one we are calling them as the stress hormone. Okay. Now, which hormone stimulates the development of male secondary sexual characteristics? That will be testosterone, no doubt in that. And which hormone regulates the menstrual cycle in females? Estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, prolactin. Which hormone regulates the menstrual cycle in female? Don't confuse here with progesterone and estrogen. Okay. And which hormone regulates the pregnancy in females? Which hormone regulates the pregnancy in females? Yes. See, when it comes to the menstrual cycle, the level of estrogen will be higher and the level of progesterone will be lower. Okay. And this will be just opposite in case the female was carrying. Right? Now, which gland is responsible for producing insulin-like growth factors? Which gland is responsible for producing insulin-like growth factors? That will be the liver. Okay. See how they are going to produce means. See here they are produced by the liver in response to the growth hormone stimulation from the pituitary gland. Right? Okay. Now, what hormone does the thymus gland produce? They are producing the thymosin. Okay, see, their major role will be related to the immune system. Now, which hormone stimulates milk production in the mammary glands? And that will be prolactin. Okay. Now, what hormone does the ovaries primarily produce? What hormone does the ovaries primarily produce? Primarily. Okay. That will be estrogen. Okay. You should not confuse here with progesterone, right? Which gland is responsible for producing calcitonin? Here you should not confuse with thyroid and parathyroid gland. Okay, both have a different function. Which is increasing the calcium level. Parathyroid hormone is there and calcitonin is there. Which hormone increases the calcium level? Yeah, parathyroid is the one increasing the hormone, and parathyroid hormone is released by the parathyroid gland. Okay, but here this calcitonin, this is the one released by this gland, thyroid gland. Okay, don't confuse with this. Now, what hormone does the hypothalamus produce to stimulate the release of growth hormone from the pituitary gland? See, hypothalamus has to stimulate the pituitary gland. Okay, how it is going to stimulate the pituitary gland to this? By the stimulation, this pituitary gland can release the growth hormone. See, definitely this hypothalamus has to stimulate the pituitary gland. Only then this pituitary gland has the capacity to release the hormone. And how that stimulation will be looking like? And what will be the stimulation? You should not confuse here with gonadotrophin releasing hormone and growth hormone releasing hormone. Okay. Yeah. See, always you should not confuse with the word. Okay. In exam, they play with the words. Okay. So be careful with that. Growth hormone releasing hormone, right? Now, which hormone regulates water balance in the body? And which hormone prevents the diuresis? The question can also be asked like that. Okay. See, which hormone regulates the water balance in the body means everybody will know that that will be the antidiuretic hormone. So the question will also be like that. Which hormone prevents the diuresis process? Okay. So it is preventing the diuresis. So it will be opposite to the process of diuresis. So you should know that that will be the antidiuretic hormone. Okay. Now, so this is the hormone. We are also calling them as the vasopressin. They are reabsorbing the water from the kidneys. Now, which hormone stimulates the production of red blood cells? Which hormone stimulates the production of RBC? That will be erythropoietin. We know that. Now, what hormone does the adrenal medulla primarily produce? That will be the adrenaline. Okay, and it is also called as the epinephrine. And noradrenaline will be calling them as the norepinephrine. Okay, now which hormone stimulates the production of milk in the mammary glands after the childbirth? after the childbirth. Okay, just analyze the question. You should not confuse here with oxytocin and prolactin. Here, this hormone stimulating the production of milk in the mammary gland after childbirth. That will be a prolactin. Okay, so you should not confuse here with oxytocin. Here, this prolactin is the one stimulates the milk production after the childbirth. Okay, after parturition. Now, this which hormone is primarily responsible for regulating the body's circadian rhythm? That will be the melatonin. Okay, which hormone is deficient in individuals with Addison's disease? Now, hereafter, it will be related to the disorders. Addison's disease. This is related to which hormone deficiency? That will be the cortisol. Very good. See, this Addison's disease is characterized by insufficient production of cortisol and often aldosterone by the adrenal glands. Okay. Now, which hormone is responsible for stimulating the uterine contraction during childbirth and milk ejection during breastfeeding? This hormone is stimulating the uterine contraction during the childbirth. That will be oxytocin. Okay, you should see, just note the minor difference between these oxytocin and prolactin. Okay. Now, which hormone is primarily responsible for stimulating the development and maintenance of male reproductive tissues? That will be the testosterone. What is the primary hormone responsible for regulating blood calcium levels by promoting calcium deposition in bones? Here, this hormone is promoting the calcium deposition in bones, which means what? They are finding the high blood calcium level. So that is why the excess calcium will be stored in the bones, and that will be done by which hormone? That will be calcitonin. Okay. See, this is the one promoting the calcium deposition in bones. Okay. So, note the difference between the calcitonin and parathyroid hormone. Now, which hormone which in excess cause the symptoms of acromegaly, particularly in adults? See, if the growth hormone is higher, it will be leads to the gigantism, and if the growth hormone will be low, it leads to dwarfism, and if the growth hormone is excess in adults, it results in the acromegaly condition. Okay, so it is related to the growth hormone. And what hormone is responsible for stimulating the reabsorption of water in kidney, leading to the concentrated urine? Here, this hormone is involving in the reabsorption of water, thereby water concentration is getting higher. Whether that will be the aldosterone or antidiuretic hormone or vasopressin. That will be the antidiuretic hormone. Okay. Now, which hormone, when deficient, cause symptoms such as fatigue, weight gain, and cold intolerance? And that will be a thyroxine hormone. See, this is the hormone produced by the thyroid gland. They are the one regulating the metabolism. Okay, its deficiency leads to the hypothyroidism. If it is in excess, it leads to hyperthyroidism. Okay, fine. And what hormone is responsible for stimulating the production of breast milk after childbirth? The same question is getting repeated. And okay, which hormone is involved in the regulation of blood sugar levels by promoting the glucose uptake by cells? Uptake by cells. That will be insulin. Okay, don't get confused with insulin and glucagon. See, here this hormone is involved in the regulation of blood glucose levels. Okay, regulation of blood sugar level by promoting the glucose uptake by cells, which means what? In blood, this insulin find the sugar level will be higher. So these excess sugar has to be stored in the cell, that is in liver cells. Okay, that will be ensured by the insulin. Okay, so this is the one where the deficient cells is also getting enormous glucose, that is enough glucose. Okay, so that's all about today's class. So in tomorrow's class, we are going to see about the chemical bonds, covalent hydrogen ionic van der Waals interactions, and also the outline classification of organic compounds. That is carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids. If possible, we will also see the protein structure. So these three are very important, very basic thing. So we'll do that. Okay, reproduction in mammals we'll cover it. Don't worry. We'll do it. We'll do it. If we discuss this reproduction in mammals, we should not complete in this class. So that's why I didn't add in this. Okay, so in tomorrow's class, this chemical bonds, outline classification of organic compounds, protein structure. Okay, if time permits, we'll deal this reproduction in mammals, right? Anything else you want to clarify? Anything else? Okay, then shall we wind up the class? And tomorrow, this will be your test. And tomorrow the same timing, 8:30 p.m. Okay.